Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining us today, and we appreciate you guys being around because we know you have lots of choices for what to watch. And today I want to talk to you about visiting a coin shop. And some of you have seen the videos where we show off the coin shop here. And one of the things that I got to thinking about after reading lots of comments about things is that some of you don't have a local coin shop, and some of you have never been to a coin show. Some of you have never really been to a coin shop either. And so wherever you're at, if you've never been to a coin shop, this video is for you. Also, if you have local coin shops, please leave comments down below telling people tips for going to a coin shop for the first time, because this is kind of fun. This is for guys who just either are new to the hobby or who don't have a place to go to. So let's encourage people in the hobby and leave comments, telling people some of your best tips that you have for how to handle yourself when you go into a coin shop. So this may sound a little bit strange for people who are just kind of passing by, but there's not really necessarily standard etiquette, but there is, like in baseball, the written and unwritten rules of going to a coin shop and how you act and behave. And so it's not quite like going to a library. You don't need to be hush-hush, but I will say, be friendly and also be forthright. So when you come on in, say hi if someone greets you, and just tell them that you're just looking, or don't take all of their time up right at the beginning. Get a feel for the room, right? Look around the room a little bit, just get a feel. If they have time to help you, that's great, but if they're helping other customers, take your time around, right? The forthright part, though, is not necessarily I'm just looking and I'm not going to bother you and I'm not going to buy any coins. The forthright part is the next step, which is have a plan, right? Which is know what you want, know what it costs, know what you're looking for. This is very helpful. If you just go in and it's going to be like shopping on an empty stomach at the grocery store, it's not a good idea. You can't go into a coin shop and just, whoa, look at all the stuff here and start purchasing. It's going to be a bad day for you when you get home and have to tell your spouse, what you did, what you done did. So having a plan is the same thing as when you go to a coin show. Know what you look for, right? And if you're new to collecting, I know this can be very difficult, but if you're more seasoned, it's really a lot easier to say, hey, I have these 5 coins on my want list, and these are the grade points or price points I'm looking for. Hey, I only collect PCGS, I only collect NGC, whatever it may be. The more specific you can be with them, the easier it is for them to be able to tell you yes or no, whether or not they're going to have something, okay? One of the things you may want to do is if you're going to a big city and they got a bunch of coin shops, you may want to hit all the coin shops, which is great. You may also want to read some reviews a little bit ahead of time. If you don't have as much time, you may want to just read some reviews and understand, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go to this coin shop over here, but because it looks like it's just a pawn shop and no coins, and I want coins, and that happens a lot. Oh, but this one looks like they actually have coins, I'm going to go over here, right? So having that ahead of time when you go into a big city is something to kind of think about. Because granted, rewind. So when you go places that are big cities, oftentimes they'll have multiple shops. So knowing ahead of time which ones you want to stop at or not is helpful for you. You won't feel as rushed or like you're taking someone's time, right? Okay, so one of the little tips to have in mind is that a lot of coin shops have inventory out front, but they'll also have some inventory in back, right? And so, especially if you have something in specific you're looking for, feel free to say, hey, do you have more coins than do you have something in back? Is there the possibility you may have this in inventory somewhere else? That's always the type of thing that it's kind of good to go ahead and ask somebody when you're at a shop, just to see, hey, maybe they have something else that you can take a look at. Okay, so if you're at the shop and it's the type of thing where you want to establish a relationship with someplace, you've been to a couple shops in the big city, you're a couple hours away, but you know what, you've decided, hey, once a month or once every 3 months, I'm going to go visit these guys. One of the things that I would recommend doing is having a small purchase of something to establish a little bit of a relationship, right? And that's the type of thing that I think it's a funny thing, it goes actually kind of a long way in my mind when you take the time to say, hey, you know what, you found something that you can purchase that you're going to like. I don't recommend that you're throwing around hundreds of dollars just because. It's not like you're buying a girl dinner. Just don't let me give anyone dating advice, by the way. So the idea here is to help build out a relationship. It's fine to find a small purchase, something within your budget, and just kind of say, hey, or maybe they've got some items with their logo on it or something. You're like, hey, I'll take one of those. You know, this is $5 or $10 or whatever. I'll buy a red book, because even if you already have one, because you can give it to the local coin club if you want to. But that's not entirely the point. The point is so that they remember a transaction, they remember seeing you when you've been in before, right? There's actually some brain logic and science that goes into that. Don't let me get into science too much. So being considerate of their time, having a plan, trying to make a small transaction if you enjoy the company, if you've been there and you like the way that you see them doing business, not just with you, but with other people. And this is another key, is especially you can see how they're handling other customers. You can tell if you want to be in that place or not. Like, you can tell when you go someplace if they're yelling at customers coming in the door or if they're helping kids, right? You can tell ahead of time a little bit based on how they are acting with other people. Now, there is one tip that I want to tell you about when they're helping other people, is give them space, right? No one likes a looky-loo. You know, don't be nosy. Let them do the transaction with their other customers. You know, don't come in and like have to tell them, oh, what's that? What are you doing? You know, that is what we would call a faux pas, right? That is definitely in the unwritten rules of not only coin shops, but coin shows. Generally speaking, not butting into other people's business is something, because you probably wouldn't want someone doing that to you, right? Like, if you're trying to do a transaction and all of a sudden a guy comes over your shoulder and is like, hey, what you got going on there? You know, hey, what, can I buy that from, and it's a whole thing that is really a faux pas that you don't want to run into. The other thing to do, especially if you're going to town and you're trying out new shops, places you might frequent again, make sure you get a business card and make some notes, right? Take some notes down of the things that you saw there that you liked about the shop, because if it's someplace that you're going to try to get to every 2 or 3 months, you may not remember everything from the first time, and you may definitely not remember someone's name, right? So the idea here is for anyone who's out in the coin desert and you can't get to a show very frequently or shop very frequently, but you want to build relationships in the coin community, and you have a town, a bigger city maybe that's 2 or 3 hours away that you can drive to, and you probably already go there once a month, right? Or once every 3 months, because that's how a lot of people in rural America live. And even for us here in Tucson, you go down to God's country, Cochise County, and you come on back up, you got a 1, 2, 3, 4 hour trip depending on where you're at. And but a lot of those people, they come into town for services like the hospital or whatever, their VA benefits, all that stuff. And so they're already coming to Tucson once a month, once a quarter. And so we have a lot of those relationships with people who don't necessarily live right in the Tucson area. And so I get it if you live out somewhere and you don't have a local coin shop. So guys, let me know what you think about what is important when you want to establish a relationship with a coin shop, or the first time that you go into a coin shop. How do you act? All right, thanks so much. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.